We should be live. Let me make sure we're live. Yeah, we're live. Sup everyone, Anime Squad chapter 1047 discussion. So before we go any further, let me introduce our panel members. Sadly, what's his name can't, Dark Lord can't make it. He is on vacation. Let him enjoy his vacation. We have Zero. How are you doing, dude?
I am well, man. I'm well. How's everybody?
I'm fine. Excited for this one. And Weeb, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Looking forward to discussing this chapter.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be very much fun. Okay. I'm gonna say something, and I'm curious how you guys are gonna feel. I'm tired of Luffy punching things. It's like you. It's like why must it be? Here's the thing. It's like, have you ever watched? No, it's not like that. Here's the thing. Luffy with GS5, we are like, okay, what's gonna do? Unexpected, unexpected, and he literally created a punch that bigger than Onigashima. Okay, scale wise, power wise, amazing, but uniqueness, it's like it's boring. It I would have had rather him doing that lightning bolt, thunderbolt, whatever you wanna call it. That should have been his final. If Kaido goes down with this punch, I would not per se call it bullshit, but more like uninspiring. Almost like really. That's how you're gonna end an epic fight like this? Am I the only one that's thinking that, especially with how Gear 4 was portrayed and and how it's unlimited with your imagination and everything like that, and then you get a punch out of it? I'm gonna start with you, Zero. How do you feel?
I think it tracks in line for like everything that Luffy is about. I think it's not the worst, um, but it is one of the. Even though like we found out it's something new, the way he's used it previously, like the if it were the rubber fruit, if you will, um, has always been a little least interesting as far as like the mini fruits go. Like I would argue to say even amongst the worst generation, Luffy's got one of the more boring fruits. Notwithstanding the fact that we know it's something different now. Um, it's not like the magnetism power. Law's power is cool. Bonnie's is cool. Gangbage is probably one of my favorites of them all. Um, so it at the end of the day, that's what Luffy does, right? Like he punches people and he punches them really hard, and that's usually how he always wins or like settles these things at the end of the day. I agree. It's a little disappointing just because like everything with Gear 5 seemed to be like shaking up what we knew about Luffy, but it's still what we just fall back on. He's just gonna punch something. And especially for like Kaido, it's like I don't know, like if Kaido can get beat by a punch, that just feels like a
Boring.
letdown. Yeah, it just feels like a letdown.
It's like, why even give? uh, I'm confused. Why have Kaido dodge that thunderbolt? It's what makes me even more confused is why set it up last week to almost be like his finisher or something like that, only for him to use it and literally going up on a whimper. Am I wrong, Weeb?
Uh, yeah, uh, sure. I would have. far more interesting if he actually hit it. Though he did do this flip on the lightning bolt later, so it's kind of worth it.
Oh
But
yeah, he did. Yeah, he almost did like what's
do
called
this flip on the
not per se a flip. He just uh held on onto a lighting and bounced
yeah.
back in a way.
Also, he spinned around, so that was kind of
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean the punch. I think I mean to not expect Luffy to have a punch as his finishing move is kind of like not expecting Goku to have a Kamehameha or whatever energy attack as his finishing move. That's kind of his thing. Um, sure, it would have been cool if it was something else, but I mean, in the end, being a giant fist bigger than what he'd ever thrown before, uh, is probably the logical evolution of his powers. I mean, in the end, it's still sort of a rubber ability, but just to the nth degree. I guess it's kind of maybe more for the sake of narrative, right? Because they also need to give Momo the motivation to finally get over himself and stop being such a whiny little little pussy, and finally do something and unlock those fire cloud abilities and move Onigashima out of the way.
We're gonna cover Momo in a second. It's just um, it this panel, as much as I thought it's cool, it genuinely has put me off on Luffy Devil Fruit in the sense of he should be able to do so much better, so much more. It, I don't know. I would you want this to be his final punch, or do you want Kaido to unleash his awakening and for them to go at one more chapter?
It's
I,
not gonna happen.
yeah, I don't think the awakening's coming, man. Like I think everything throughout the rest of the chapter is highlighting that like this is it. Like either this is going to do it or it's not. But like this is it.
Did Luffy say this is my final attack or something like that? I missed that.
It's what's his name? The guy who was helping Luffy train
Lugoro, I think.
is that this the older samurai
Yeah,
dude?
yeah, yeah. I know he is. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I remember actually I have it up so I'm looking at it. For he said like this basically like that it's falling. This basically means that Kaido's at the end of his rope. So he's asking him like, what do you think is going to happen if Kaido wins? Like we're probably going to die. If Luffy wins, like we get this W. Just
Hmm.
just a thought question to you guys. So I feel like, and because Kaido's like revealing some things that I don't think we previously had confirmation on. So I feel like a lot of big stuff is happening.
No, but it's like we kind of knew. It's that here's the thing. So here's the thing. If Roger had a devil fruit, would there not have been rumors about Roger like, oh, I fought the Pirate King and he was able to summon three snakes out of thin air, something like that.
No, what? Why would it be? Because first of all, we've seen now we've seen a little more, but generally Oda is very when he's talking about characters that that already died and lived in the previous era. He's very uh, cheap in the sense that he doesn't show a lot of backstory. He's not gonna do massive arcs just to explain everything about a single character. It leaves a lot to the imagination. And sure, I mean, it's possible that we get like the entire story of Roger somewhere in the future. But I mean, he could have done. I mean, he basically already did it with Luffy, right? He essentially just did sort of a um, yeah, sort of retroactively retconned basically his devil fruit. Said, oh yeah, actually it's not the Gumma Gumma no Mi, it's actually a mythical zone fruit. I mean, so he could have done that. He could have said, no, yeah, I mean, Roger actually had a devil fruit. Uh,
Mm.
but I mean, I think it's meaningful in the sense that he just confirmed that it's not just about the devil fruit powers. It's about well, hockey, but I think it's also makes it more impressive that he was essentially just a normal man in a
Yeah,
sense.
yeah, agreed. It's
But
just like because we hit on a good point. There are a lot of people who we sort of hear about either in legend or discuss about, and we don't really have a sense of what their power is. Like I'm
Shanks,
assuming Shanks, the leader of the Rook Pirates, all of them are massively powerful and dangerous. For a very long time, Sengoku, right? Like we knew him as the Vice Admiral, and I feel like they're just sort of now having the hockey discussion.
Kong.
Um, yeah, in regards to like, you don't necessarily need a fruit to be on top. It's just that so far throughout most of the series, most of the people who we've seen on top have had fruits. Um, with Gold Roger being like the biggest mystery, but like we know that him and Whitebeard clashed, and Whitebeard for a time was considered one of the strongest, if not the strongest man, and like he had a fruit. And so we equated, and he had a very powerful fruit as well. So my always background thinking was like, what if Gold Roger just has like a rather innocuous or like just basic fruit that he just makes interesting?
Mm.
Because that's part of One Piece too. Like, it's not necessarily the fruit that you have; it's how you use it.
Gotcha. Interesting.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. Is what Kaido said, or basically Oda, made me question, like, why did you shit on hockey for so long? Then remember when Virgo went full body armament hockey and Law cut him in half? Remember when what's his name? Not Pika. Someone else went full body Almataki. Every time a person went full almond Almataki, he lost. So it needed to be more like full body Almataki with conquer hockey. No, not full body Almataki. Just Almataki with conquer hockey. That's what should be then have said by Kaido. I think Kahaki by itself means nothing without the Konkuraki now. And this is why I believe Sanji is gonna get Konkuraki. You're not gonna be able, he's not gonna be able to stand against anyone that have Konkuraki if he doesn't have it himself.
Mm, I don't believe that. By the way, you're making distinction between the two, but they're both hockey. So I don't think Kaido necessarily excluded Conqueror's hockey from the equation. I think he meant the entire picture, because that was the thing. Like with Katakuri, for example. I mean, sure he had it all, but his observation hockey was truly extraordinary about him. That he could literally see into the future. You know, that was the thing that gave him the edge. That what made him special. So it's not necessarily, I think, the Conqueror's hockey that's gonna uh, be the defining characteristic. Yeah, sure. If you have the complete package, that's probably better than not having it. But somebody who doesn't have Conqueror's hockey and does have armament hockey, if that's the right
Armanen.
translation. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I mean, so somebody, it's about the level, right? But that's the examples, for example, he gave with Virgo about when he was full body hockey and still got defeated. Well, the whole point was it was that Law's hockey was more powerful than his, right? That's because he literally said you can't cut me with your powers if your hockey isn't more powerful than mine. So it definitely, Kai definitely has a point that that's what matters. But I'd say the combination, like what Luffy's doing, now that's going to be the deciding factor. And by the way, if you think this is not going to be the finishing move, I mean, like, what are you going to expect that Kai is going to dodge that giant fist? I mean, this, this is it. I don't know what to tell you, but it's gonna probably gonna end in the next chapter.
Yeah, I think the hockey it's how it's used. I think they're just using it in the same way that they do the fruit, right? Like just because Virgo had it, that just meant Law was just stronger than him. In the same way that like Whitebeard's been running around for a while, being like a menace to people who like Garp and Rayleigh, who probably had all three, and Gold Roger for that matter, who still managed to like hold his own against them, and probably hit them with his like earthquake fruit, because I think sometimes it's the combination or focus of all of them that gives you that extra ability. I just think is where it's harder to see now because like everything seems to be focusing on hockey after like really no focus on it for a very long time. But I think I think it generally comes down to still kind of basic anime stuff where it's like whoever's the most powerful and can use it in the most creative ways are going to come out on top, uh regardless of how you do, because as far as I can tell, is Gear 5 hockey infused or is it just its own thing?
No, it's a clean argument because from the picture you can see he's using armament hockey.
Well, I guess my question is this. Let's say, can a person who isn't proficient in hockey use that fruit? And if so, what would that look like? Because it seems like regardless, like the fruit is very powerful.
Oh, you mean if a person didn't have armament hockey, would he be able to use the fruit?
Yeah.
Oh, oh, oh.
Or would it be a situation sort of like Robin, where like she just got her hockey, but even before then she was pretty like dangerous and capable with her fruit and her abilities.
But he even
Now,
worked on her. After she joined, he made her very weak and said, if your hockey is stronger than hers, then she stand no chance. So it's
right.
um I I don't think from everything that I've seen, Gear 5 seems to be all about durability and not much uh, power. As much as I am looking at the picture right now with the power, Luffy, when he was fighting against Kaido in Gear 4 after learning Ryo, um, he was not lacking in power. He was lacking in durability. And we've seen how he is literally now tanking Kaido attack like they're nothing. They're making him bleed, but it's not um, taking him out of what's called Gear 5.
I
I,
actually think he could use it because, well, first of all, the point is that the Montgomery always was a mythical zone fruit, right? It's not that it transformed and it's just that it was purposely hidden by the world government because of the troublesome nature of that fruit. But I think the point is that this fruit awakened, and so I don't think awakening is tied to hockey because if you look at the demon guards from Impel Down, those are awakened zone fruits users. We never seen them use hockey, so I think the implication is that it's not dependent on the uses of hockey. And he, of course, he's using it because you can't fight a high level hockey user without it. But I think the implication with his power is that it evolved or expanded, because you can also see he can turn his environment and even Kaido himself into rubber by touching him. So that's the entire essence of an awakened devil fruit, and he of course has his powers have expanded because now he can turn into a full giant at some point. He can turn his fist larger than ever. He can grab lightning. So there's definitely an evolution in that power. But yeah, it's I think it's more than just yeah, being able to, or using hockey at a higher level. It's definitely as I said, it's an awakened devil fruit power, and he could use all the things as, even if he didn't have hockey. The question, of course, is would it have triggered um, sooner? But I think that's probably purely a plot device, because at this point it only triggered because he quite literally died. And I think Luffy has had quite a few brushes with death before, and he never transformed. So that's question is that, is it because he never actually got that close to it, or is it purely because Oda didn't want to reveal that until the very end of the story?
Pretty sure that's the latter one, cause it's literally the Shanks mantra. Why didn't Shanks obliterate the Seeking in an instant if he is that powerful? You're not gonna tell me that when Luffy met Shanks, Shanks was that weak.
Yeah,
Because hockey wasn't invented back then.
No,
That
basically,
but
doesn't.
yeah, he probably didn't have an idea for it yet.
Yeah, exactly. So if we're gonna be genuine about it, Shanks should all he needed was a single punch to that ticking, and thinking would have been obliterated. Remember, base Luffy, before he even set out on his journey, he one punched that ticking. So that kicking was mad weak. This is
Yeah, that's
literally
not even,
base.
that Sea King isn't even from like where the strong Sea Kings come from. So yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
So, Shank, I question if Oda have ever had any regret having Shanks' arm eaten by Seeking like that.
I mean, I imagine that the plan was always for him to not have an arm. I guess maybe just the idea of like how he managed to do it might be the only thing. It's like, well, if I could change that, I would, go back and do that. Or maybe we'll actually find out why that happened. I wouldn't be surprised if Oda maybe gives a quick blurb, because admittedly, no one seems to have asked that question. Like, not a single person was like, "Wait, how did Shanks lose his arm?"
Now we've seen it. We've seen it lose its arm by the Seeking.
No,
It's
I
almost.
mean no one in the world. Like, people knew Shanks before he was like, Shanks was already powerful
But
enough to like steal this fruit. So like Whitebeard never mentions it. Blackbeard never makes fun
to
of
be
him for it. Like,
To be fair, we never seen anyone interact with Chunk before for more than 1 second.
I
So
mean, just bring it. I just figured somebody would even just bring it up. Like, it's weird that like what happened, because if
what's his
I
name?
guess he was a Yonko back
Whitebeard.
then.
Whitebeard asked him. I remember what Chunk said. I bet it on the next generation or something like that. And that's about it.
I mean, and I guess that's it then. He just was like, oh well.
No, Mihawk also asked him about it.
Oh, okay, all right.
And
So
even
yeah,
Mihawk asked him. Yeah, Mihawk asked him, and um, from the sound of it, uh, again, it's so confusing. All the power levels. You have Shanks, a Yonko, being on par with Mihawk and Shishibukai.
Well, I think that's normal, like sort of anime thing. Like I don't think there was ever a point where Shanks felt threatened by Mihawk, but you know he wasn't about to. I don't think they have any particular animosity towards
No,
each
no, no,
other.
no. It was literally banter and genuine what's called camaraderie
Yeah,
between
like
them.
they're like you know, Mihawk does. I mean, the Shibukai was a joke of an organization as far as like is my views on like how the world government wanted to
The
perceive
way
them.
the only one that was genuinely powerful was what's called Flamingo. Well,
No, I think
to be
I
fair,
think they're all powerful.
And
Flamingo
Mihawk,
and Moria,
powerful.
Moria.
No, Mihawk is the most powerful of them all.
Yeah, I think they're
Who?
probably. I think how the government perceived them, like they were supposed to be the gatekeepers of this new generation of pirates when like they were never that, and like almost all of them were doing something either illegal or on their own or whatever they wanted to do. They were just legal pirates that the government just had, and like the point of them was supposed to be, hey man, we will let you guys do this so long as you make sure like no new people rise up. And like they just didn't care. Like they never once cared about doing any of that. That's what I
Yeah,
meant by like you're just a joke of an organization. Like they don't ever affect. The only time they seem to effectively help the world government is during the war, and even then, that was a little shaky.
even
Yeah,
then Mihawk left very fast.
Yeah, it was like, all right, I'm done. I won't do it no more.
Yeah,
but he was a. I mean, he was a rival of Shanks, right? And and the reason he didn't fight because he didn't have an interest anymore fighting Shanks because he had only one arm.
Yeah, he was like, well, you're weaker, so I'm done here. And it was like,
But
interesting. I mean, interesting thought process, Mihawk.
yeah,
but if
which says something on level. I mean, it's not that he. I mean, he's definitely the most powerful Chichibukai.
Yeah,
No doubt about it. Um, but it's possible that Shanks. I mean, I don't know if he already was a Yonko when Luffy in the past, right, of Luffy, because it's possible. I mean, I think he wasn't. I think probably became one after those events. So it's not necessarily. I mean, we see our main characters grow throughout the story, which you know, of course, for us, a lot of time has passed, but not for them. I mean, they haven't
yeah,
aged that much uh, in the story and time that's passed in the story. So I mean, they have grown a lot. So it's also conceivable that characters that we are not following have become stronger and exceeded, their station in, as it were. Um, but yeah, I mean the Chichibuka joke. I mean that's apparent from when they made Buggy
yeah.
fucking
Well,
Chichibuka.
first of all, Buggy is the greatest pirate on the planet. I can't
I
wait for
know,
him to get to One Piece and win.
that would be that. No, yeah. If Oda was yeah, Oda should do that.
Yes, please let just like Luffy and them get it, but like the world thinks that Buggy the Clown found the One Piece because we've not
Yeah,
seen him for quite some time. He's due for like a resurgence.
would be amazing if he becomes a pirate king.
I would love it. I would absolutely love it if he became. But even though I guess that is Luffy's very stated goal. Like I do want to become king of pirates, but like I would love if Buggy the Clown became pirate, the world famous pirate king, and then he hated it. Similar to how like Naruto is like, I want to be the Hokage, and then the moment he got the Hokage, like this is nothing but paperwork. I can't stand this.
oh
I
yeah,
would absolutely
Naruto is
love
absolutely
it.
not fan of being Kage. If you watch
Yeah,
Boruto, he is avoiding it like a plague, which is ironically. Um,
I have one quick question.
yeah,
In
go ahead.
regards to hockey, do you think um going forward we're going to stop seeing sort of the acknowledgement of hockey since like everyone is just getting stronger and stronger?
What do you
What
mean
I
by
mean by
that?
that is like in there's a scene in Dragon Ball Z where Goku's fighting Frieza, and they're like, well, why doesn't he use his Kaioken or Kaioken? And he's like, he's been using Kaioken the whole time. They just stopped, they stopped saying the whole Kaioken times whatever and just like skip past that to be like, all right,
Oh.
yeah, it's just on. Like anytime Goku powers up, Kaioken is just a default. Do we
Oh
think we're gonna
yeah.
get to the point where hockey is just a default? Because like I imagine Kaido hitting someone, like let's say Kaido hits Marco. I just don't imagine having to see his hand go the black or metal look, at least anime
Oh
wise.
no. Oh no. You're gonna always need to showcase that your move is black, so people know it's hockey.
Hmm.
Otherwise, because right now you have literally people that are strong, like for example, Nami. She's the glass cannon, but she has Zeus with her. Zeus is strong like a fuck, but they don't have hockey.
Well,
So,
let me ask this then. Like, bring up Zeus. That's a good point. So, Big Mom pretty effectively used Zeus a lot.
mm,
Is the idea? Do you think she would not use Zeus if she were fighting like someone is close or on her level? If Zeus doesn't have hockey, because like he's
mm,
just thunder shocking people, so we never see like the thunderbolts
she
turn black.
used she used what's his name, Napoleon. He have hockey. She
So it would just
relies
be Napoleon
way
and not
more on
Zeus.
Napoleon than Zeus. Zeus.
Hold on. He doesn't have hockey. He's a weapon, so she channels her hockey through him.
Hmm.
I think you should treat them more like objects than actually that don't. Yeah, they have a will, but because she put her part of her soul in it. But
You're right.
I
You're
don't
right.
think they have hockey on their own.
You're right. Because Zeus effectively is just a cloud, and so it's a cloud brought to life by Big Mom. It's never existed before she did anything. Hmm. And that's why I was curious. So that which theoretically would mean Zeus does have hockey, and Nami has a hockey user with her.
Uh, I mean,
Because do you?
the thing is, hockey is a result of willpower, right? So I'm not sure if you could call something that essentially is just given life by part of a soul of somebody having a will uh, per se. I mean, sure, it has individuality, a personality, but um, I think probably there that's sort of the line that Oda will draw. Okay, I'm not going to give hockey to something that was brought to life by a hockey user. I don't think that he's going to go that far.
Hmm. Interesting. Because that was gonna be my next thing. It's like, does whatever Big Mom put her, because it's her soul, put her soul into, does that get a portion of her power? I.e., I guess, and depending on like how close it is to her. Like, I don't imagine the buildings on Whole Cake Island get her full power, but things like Zeus, Napoleon, and Prometheus definitely would get like some pretty. They'd be pretty juiced up. But I guess that I want to think that I'm a until they tell me no, I want to think that like Big Mom has the ability to sort of put however much power she wants into whatever she wants to. And because those three were basically her not personal guards, they were her weapons. But they were always on her 24/7. That like she imbued a bit more strength into them than she would have done anything else.
I'm gonna be genuine honest with you, Zero. I
Mhm.
am not following you whatsoever.
So what I'm saying is, Zeus, Prometheus, Napoleon. Those are her three special weapons.
And now Hera.
And Hera, I forgot she made a new one.
Uh,
Um,
Zero, just to clarify, that the difference between those and to the other homies, as they're called, is that she put her own part of her own soul into that, and the other homies
Yeah.
she put other people's souls or part of their souls into it.
okay, I got you. So
So, for
I'm
example,
partially wrong on that part. All right, so everything that's alive on Whole Cake Island is just somebody else's soul, not
oh yeah,
hers.
yeah, yeah,
Makes
exactly.
sense. Um,
And
so then now I'm still leaning towards until they tell me no that like part of her soul comes with like the hockey deal. So all
But
four of them.
remember, uh, Zeus lost, uh, lost her soul because Hera ate it up.
Right, they did eat him, but he managed to come back.
He only came back because of uh, what's her name? Nami Thunderbolt, Bolt, Energy Ball. So does that not make Zeus now hockey-less?
It makes it confusing, I
Super
think,
confusing.
technically,
Yeah.
because if
Welcome
she
to
took
One Piece.
yeah, if she took her soul away from the cloud, then the cloud should not be anything anymore,
But because
unless it was
I think I I don't think Oda thinks thought this one through because this genuinely feels like on the fly move thinking because Nami needed that power up. So if she
Did it
lost it,
though?
sorry.
I mean, I think I mean I have to maybe reread it, but I think just the implication was that a part of him survived, which is not strange since basically he is a cloud. So it doesn't really
right.
have a form, so it could very easily say that if a small part of him survives with a part of Big Mom's soul, then it's still uh, in a way alive.
And that's where I'm thinking, at least initially, like maybe the idea was to get the soul, but I imagine Zeus is also probably trying to protect himself. So like perhaps he stored a bit of away or hid a bit of it away that she couldn't get it all. Because admittedly she was fairly distracted, just one by Zeus betraying her as a whole.
Then
Um,
we need that in context though. We
and
need
I
that.
think we will when like we get more with Big Mom, because I am, unless they split this crew up again, which God I hope they don't do. Um, if when we run into her again, like she will definitely recognize Zeus. Like, you're still alive here?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
definitely for sure.
like what's going on? It.
About that, I don't want to move on to the next topic just yet. But just be prepared after this conversation because I have seen a lot of stories about where we're going next, and let's just say we might be genuinely in the end game, and I'll explain soon. Here's the thing. Uh, a final before I want to move on from this panel. Um, Luffy needs a new move set, or rather, just more. I before the year fight was unveiled, I always wanted Luffy to eat to find uh, a staff that ate a devil fruit that gives them the ability to shrink or grow larger. You know how Monkey King Sun Wukong is something like that. Cause um, I realized Luffy, as much as he is versatile, he is versatile against fodder, against big enemies, boss fight enemies. He is mad underpowered, and he doesn't have a lot of moves set against them. What he gonna do? Gomu Gomu no UFO? Gomu Gomu no Fusen? Gomu Gomu no Rocket or something like that? Do you get me?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I think part of it's just like he's a physical brawler. Um, I think as far as the staff is concerned, like I think he is the staff. Like I think that's part of why the stretching and things. It's like that I think that's what that's supposed to represent. Like he's sort of all of that in one. Now it's perhaps he can sort of appear one, like maybe he can manifest one later when he knows how to use this properly.
Oh, that would be sick. Not gonna lie, cause he genuinely needs a new set of move to be fresh.
But
Because
Luffy's kind of basic, right? Like he doesn't have any like formal training. He's just a kid who likes to like fight, and he can scrap really well. And all at the end of the day, all of his wins come down to I'm going to punch this dude in the face as hard as I can.
okay, I'm gonna then ask now a question. After seeing the amount of punishment Luffy have endured in Gear 5, I would put King, Queen, Katakuri, and Doflamingo all against Luffy, and he would load if them in Gear 5. Would you agree or disagree?
You would what?
Okay, so with the amount of punishment Luffy have endured against Kaido, I am now convinced Luffy can fight against King, Queen, Katakuri, and Don Flamingo at once, and he would beat them all easily.
I don't know.
Do you mean like
Remember, Luffy was one-shotted by Thunder Bagua. Now he took a Thunder Bagua, what's called time 2, because this is the stronger version of Thunder Bagua, including a, a bottle breath from Kaido, and also the Kamaitachi, what's called Windblades. And he's okay. He is literally doing that bouncing back move using lightning. He is unfazed by what's happening right now. Am I wrong here?
I mean, I guess you mean so. I guess the fight is like, let's say Luffy knocks out Kaido right now, and then all of a sudden Don Flamingo, King, Queen show up. Is that what it's saying, or is it like is it just Gear 5 Luffy we're talking about?
No. Gear 5 Luffy fresh against all of them combined.
I wouldn't even include Don Flamingo because like he isn't stronger than Jack, so there's no point of putting. I don't think there's any point of putting him in there.
He is not stronger than Jack, you think?
I don't think Don Flamingo could beat Jack.
Interesting.
I think he could.
You think he could take? I don't think he could take Jack. Like I think like when he does Birdcage, Jack is like so. I just break out of it and move on.
I don't think
what I
think
mean
he
by
could.
that is Luffy is now genuinely a Yonko status with GS5.
Oh, of course. Yeah. I mean that's fair, but you're also you're talking about people who are right below that, right? They're the top officers, and you're asking if they teamed up, would they be able to beat Luffy? I mean, maybe. I mean, the question is, could Kaido be beaten if all his officers teamed up and tried to beat him? Maybe.
That's also a good question. Luffy's also not fighting Kaido fresh, so.
And Kaido is not fighting Luffy fresh, so.
But it's a fresh Gear 5. So can a fresh Gear 5 beat a fresh Kaido?
It all depends what Kaido gonna throw next chapter. If Kaido goes into Awakening, then I say no. If Kaido doesn't have an Awakening, then I'm definitely going to say yes. I believe Kaido. No. I believe Kaido can't beat GS5 fresh. Again, it's astonishing the buff that that Luffy have gotten now with GS5 when it comes to defense form. It's like who here played Dark Souls 1?
Never played the first one.
You will?
I remember.
What?
Okay, so in Dark Souls there is a boss fight against two enemies, two bosses at the same time. It's a hard boss fight. In the game there is a that gives you almost like a magic shield that protects you. If you use that spell, you can literally uh, walk through the entire game with ease. Okay, explanation, a better example would be, do you guys remember Horizon Zero Dawn? That shield, that armor,
Yeah.
shield armor.
I'm only about an hour into Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oh, okay. Weeb, you know
Yeah.
the
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
yeah. Basically, imagine that. As for you, Zero, just imagine.
I mean,
Uh,
I can understand the concept.
yeah. So I don't. I genuinely believe Luffy is now untouchable. If
Now,
you
see,
say
that I couldn't agree with because one, that at least right now, that would make Luffy the most powerful person in existence since Joy Boy. Which, like,
but
I think
if
if you could somehow bring Gold Roger right now to fight, he would beat Gear 5 Luffy probably easily.
we don't know. So here's the thing. This is Kaido we're talking about. If it's 101, always bet on Kaido. Remember that comment. And if Luffy is fighting Kaido, yes, Kaido took a lot of damage, but Luffy as well. Luffy have not came to the fight fresh. So if Luffy right now literally tanking Kaido biggest moves like they're nothing. Again, I can't stress this enough. Luffy just took a bottle breath to the face and took a Thunder Bagua time 2 to the face and he bounced back like they're nothing. Okay, so here's the thing. I'm pretty sure Oda is gonna nerf the fuck out of GS5. But Luffy never. Here's the thing. Luffy had the same exact moment with Gear Sports against Flamingo. How Flamingo was not able to pierce Luffy's body. Remember? When he first revealed Gear 4 and then he introduced us to what's his name? Katakuri. So I think we're gonna see someone stronger than Kaido.
I mean, there are three other Yonkos, so like clearly and it seems to be implied that while being like most physically strong and durable, Kaido might, I think it might go up in the air between him and Big Mom, but like Kaido might have been the weakest of the four.
Nah,
You
no,
don't think
no, I
so?
don't believe that.
Kaido might have been the laziest out of the four, you would say. Cause he is the entire time not taking the fight seriously, laughing and enjoying and having good time.
I mean, so the way I look at it is the way they're presenting them is just like Whitebeard was that dude. So he seemed to be the strongest, and most people seem to acknowledge that. Shanks is question mark, but I get the feeling that because we're holding him back for so long, he's going to be incredibly powerful. Big Mom is
Wishes
up in the air, but
um
I think because of the introduction of Whole Cake, yes, it's a bit of a handicap because like if you're on her home turf, she's basically unbeatable. But I include that as part of her like her skill set. So then it just leaves
remember
Kaido, who's just hard to kill or
re-
unkillable.
remember what the Gorosei said. They said that Big Mom is one of the few people that can rival the what's his name? Blackbeard with two devil fruit.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Like her fruit ability is just a little broken.
It is
Uh,
broken. That's why Luffy have never once won against Big Mom. He have yet to beat Big Mom. Again and again, Oda Oda is treating Yonkos well, but at the same time he treats them all too well. It's the Madara effect. And when using Weeb, you see Naruto.
Yeah.
You know how Madara was first introduced super overpowered?
Sorry, what are you talking about?
How when Madara was first introduced, he was super overpowered.
Oh, oh, Madara. Yeah.
Madara.
I thought you said mother. Who's mother?
So, and what he did at the very end, the way literally a black Zetsu or black and white Zetsu took him out before Kaguya emerges out of him. He couldn't kill him off. He didn't have
Yeah.
any
I,
idea how
I,
to kill him off. It's the same thing with Aizen. No. You have Bash. And when he's what Bleach?
yeah.
Oh,
hmm
you read Bleach?
Yeah, I have.
Unfortunately, yes.
You read Bleach with Zero?
Yes.
Okay. So final boss against Yuhabash. When Ichigo went and fought against Yuhabash the very first time, he got one-shotted. Heck, he got even one-shotted by Yuhabash's right-hand man. Hardball, I think. I forgot his name. So, Kudo Kubo had to introduce that one silver arrow that is literally out of nowhere, that he just created out of thin air, just to be able to beat what's his name, Yuhabash. It's literally mangaka creating super overpowered villains to make them menacing and scary, and at the very end, having zero idea how to beat them. Like literally, Oda came out and said, "I want Luffy to beat Kaido in a special way. He is not gonna just simply throw the biggest punch." I'm paraphrasing by that, but basically that's what he said. So I think even Oda have no idea how to kill off, how to defeat Kaido. When you build up a person to such level, how are you gonna defeat him? And this is why the exact same thing when what's his name, Law and Kid were fighting against Big Mom. I truly believed they stood no chance against Big Mom because what's his name? Oda told us that Big Mom is literally a ball of rubber. Her body is almost like a balloon. She
Yes,
soak
it's
up
still-
damage to no end, and she can't be harmed unless you break her what's called her her shield, which back then would have been the mother portrait, caramel portrait, with no mother caramel to be intact. He had to create the ability that Law have, which is basically the awakening that gives him the ability to attack someone from the inside out. A kid against Big Mom without Law would have stood no chance to even damage her. If you want to filter from the story standpoint. This is why I believe right now Luffy is invincible, but Blackbeard is going to be stronger than Kaido. Mark my word. Akainu is also going to be stronger than Kaido because you need to. Am I wrong with this one?
Um, yeah, the thing is, I'm not sure. You can always compare strength levels with each other, because I think probably Kaido will. They say he's the strongest thing in the world, so probably physically Kaido will always be the strongest. But I'd say Blackbeard has the advantage that he has two devil fruit powers, right? He has you know the, the devil fruit that can destroy the world, and he has a power that allows him to nullify devil fruit power. So I think that's going to be the challenge for Luffy, because when he grabs a hold of him, he can't rely on his devil fruit powers. So I think that might essentially be nerfed to make it an even fight.
I'm prepared for what's his name? Oda to nerf Blackbeard.
I think there's also possibility like we have to understand what Luffy, what Gear 5's weaknesses is. Like there's a
So
potentially
far,
like there's a weakness to it in the same. I mean, outside of the normal devil fruit weakness. Um,
so
but
far it
it's
doesn't seem to have any weakness.
or just Kaido hasn't figured it out. That like that there's a and perhaps because One Piece occasionally is just about the matchup, right? Like everyone agrees that Enel was completely much more powerful than Luffy, but he was rubber, or at least he conducted lightning. So like a big chunk of his power got cut away
Mm-hmm.
because all I do was lightning strike people. Like if it was anyone else, and as we saw, he lightning struck everybody else and they went down.
Luffy had no reason. Enel had no reason to lose against Luffy.
And
Period.
and to be fair, it's the same thing with sort of Crocodile, right? Like granted, his loss was still
Yeah.
BS, but at the end of the day, if Crocodile was super powerful, Jinbei theoretically could hold his own, or probably beat Crocodile because he moves and manipulates water.
I agree.
So it's just like, so we don't, perhaps physically isn't the thing that, and that's been sort of Luffy's MO anyway. The physical attacks have always been the things that don't work well against him. So you got to do something else. Like earlier, you had mentioned sort of the, king and queen. My first thought was Queen doesn't even fight fair. So like that Queen, what's to stop Queen from just like poisoning him and moving on? And we don't know if poison will or won't work on him.
No, it won't, because Luffy is immune for most poison.
But this is Queen we're talking about here, who like Luffy's immune to Magellan and for this point Caesar, but like Queen overruled Caesar. Like Queen was the head scientist for Caesar. And I'm not saying Luffy can't. I'm just saying like there's always much more room.
The
Luffy
question
If
almost
is,
died with
who
poison,
is
by the way, on his way to Whole Cake Island. Remember?
the question is who's stronger? Queen, whose poison is stronger, Queen or Magellan? And I believe it's
Queen.
Magellan.
I think it's Queen because I think Caesar's is stronger than Magellan. And partially it's because how they operate. Like Caesar theoretically should be like one of the strongest people in One Piece because all he has to do is just turn into like carbon monoxide or any other
And take
odorless,
away your air. Yeah. And take away
odorless
your air.
invisible
Yeah.
gas and just like choke you in your sleep. Obviously, that wouldn't make for a good show, so you can't do that.
But
So
the same way with Sugara, all
yeah,
she needs
yeah,
to do
yeah,
is
yeah,
to touch you.
yeah. So like, obviously that can't work. But if we're just putting the poison users next to each other, like Magellan still sort of has to have physical touch, where Caesar does not.
No, he doesn't. He could also use gas.
Did Magellan use gas?
Yeah.
He used. I think he used actually even tear gas. Yeah.
Yeah. No, not tear gas. His breath is gas by itself, just from talking, and he
So
can
maybe it's just
blow gas away that
No,
can
but
poison you.
he also used attacks where I think he produced tear gas at one point, because he can basically create any toxin in his body. So,
Yeah,
I mean, the toxins that when they touch air, they evaporate, become a gas. So
Right, right. I get what
he
you mean.
can do
Yeah,
that.
which that
Yeah.
was his ultimate ability, right? Like it
Mm.
was invisible. You couldn't see it.
Yeah,
yeah,
but that's a difference between him and Caesar, because Caesar said that's why Caesar mocked him, because Caesar can also, because he's not limited to poisonous gases. He can create any form,
Yeah,
any gas.
any
Just a little
gas.
bit of,
Yeah,
just take the oxygen out of a room. So
right.
he's not limited to just poison.
Yeah. So like that, I think Caesar takes him. I just got these, and I could be wrong, but like we've yet to delve real heavy into the scientist of the One Piece world. Like we've got
mhm,
Chopper, we've got Vegapunk, we've got the sort of Pacifista experiments, which is more just Vegapunk. We've got Caesar, and I did not expect Queen to be a scientist. Um,
oh
but
yeah,
like
that was out of nowhere. Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know, and I think it's something to be noted that like during this arc, like it's hard to say, it's hard to visually understand that Chopper got a power up, but I think he did because that's just one more. He just developed one more cure to a poison that will probably never hurt anybody so long as Chopper's around. So
Mhm.
now Queen's gonna have to come back stronger with an even better, more effective killing agent that hopefully Chopper can't also nullify, and he nullified that on the fly. Like that
Yeah,
that's to me that's a huge power boost on Chopper's end because like that's what he is. He's a scientist. He's a doctor. Like and
yeah,
so his major skill set is like how do I figure this out? And like he
yeah,
figured it out on the run while people were dying and was like I got it. And while he himself was like halfway poisoned.
yeah. People seem to forget who Chopper is. Chopper is literally broken with
Mm,
his ability, with his brain point. He can
yeah.
literally, he literally was able to figure out Caesar toxic and also again almost any issue with Luffy, he was able to fix them. So at the very end, um, I'm curious how Oda is gonna handle Gear 5 now. And I'm expecting again Blackbeard to be strong as fuck. And I'm expecting also Blackbeard to be nerfed at some point. For example, that ability to negate someone else's devil fruit, I think that shit's gonna be just temporary. A second or two. Otherwise, Blackbeard would be so overpowered. Can you imagine? Luffy starts a punch with Blackbeard, Blackbeard does what's called pulls him toward them and then hold them and then negate his devil fruit.
Yeah,
After
but
that,
but, but it is temporary. We know that. We saw it in the fight with Ace. But the point is, when he touches you, you cannot rely on your devil fruit power to uh, uh, take the damage, right? I mean, if you're Logia, you won't be able to avoid an attack. And in Luffy's case, he is definitely his biggest foil because he relies heavily on his rubber body, so that punches don't really hurt him. Those punches will hurt him. He will be have a normal human body. Yes, he has hockey to defend himself, which is kind of the interesting question is well what can you shield yourself against the nullifying ability with hockey? I wonder.
mm,
But then the question is, yeah, why didn't Ace use that?
Right. And it's tough to figure out I think just where anybody
Ace,
sits on the mantle because again part of it is just like the matchup, right? Like Ace, at least the way the story was told, it seems that Ace went toe to toe with Blackbeard and eventually lost. Not just like Blackbeard came in, beat him, and walked away. And then Ace also got basically one shotted by uh, Akinu.
Akainu.
Um, yeah, who told us like sometimes the mat. He basically told us like sometimes the matchup matters, and he was like, "You certainly has fire, but like I burn hotter than you, so it doesn't matter."
in One Piece.
Yeah. So it's like it's theoretic. It again, all depending on what,
Even
because
what's the
we still
name?
don't really know what Luffy is, right? Like they've not specifically called out like what exactly is this thing that he's doing.
Yeah. Again, we're gonna see it. We definitely need an explanation, and the only person that can explain things is gonna be able is gonna be the Vegapunk. Which I'm gonna move on from that topic because there's a lot to cover. Basically, the entire chapter, not most of the chapter was boring for me. It literally stopped with him. The stuff with Momonosuke and his mom, like I like that because again, Momonosuke is literally a 10 years old child. He never asked for any of this. So you gotta
Whatever.
put yourself
Get
in
it
his
together,
shoes.
Momonosuke. I'm tired of you crying.
Yeah, it's very easy to say so, but if you are 10 years old and your experience is entire hardship, I
I'm
highly
sorry.
doubt you would be saying the same thing. So
There are
there's
some
that.
10 years olds in anime that we know has stepped up and like got it together.
Yeah, but they are most of the time main characters or friend of main characters. But this is genuinely just one person, which bring me to Momonosuke's sister, Hiyori. Who's gonna save Hiyori?
Can we take a moment and actually kind of, hey, I gotta big up this dude because he seems practically impossible to kill. But was it
Oh,
Orochi? Ah,
Orochi, yeah.
good for him, man. Like every time I'm legitimately convinced like they got him this time, and he keeps showing up again. And I'm just like, wow. Like honestly, and I get that's the whole point of the Hydra, which like I think as we talked about before,
Nine head, eh?
imagine someone a bit more capable having this fruit.
Oh yeah, no, it's literally, but that was every devil fruit. Imagine someone more capable using the bomb fruit from Mr. I forgot which one it was. The one his
Yeah.
literally his bugger are bombs. Everything you touch is bombs. Remember?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Imagine,
Um,
and here's the thing: imagine someone like Kaido having the jacket fruit. And then imagine someone like Whitebeard or Blackbeard wearing that fruit.
right.
Do you see how easy it is to literally create the strongest double fruit? Like imagine like Manchari. Manchari is literally a cheat code. Is she not?
I mean, for her, no specifically, but her fruit is yeah.
If you literally all you need is Manchari on your team and you don't even need Chopper. I'm sorry, Chopper, you're pointless. If I have Manchari, it's over. No matter how many injuries I have, with all she needs is to cry, and I'm good. I'm golden.
Mm.
Which,
Um,
yeah, what
so
do you
I
gonna
would
say?
so I would say to answer your question though, I don't. I'm still beating this horse, and I'll beat the horse until it
Yeah, it's
dies.
okay.
Then maybe the samurai. Then maybe some the samurai need to save her. Need to save
Mm,
Odin's daughter. Like they got to
yeah,
do something other than get beat very early into this fight and just stay
I
down.
I think Kanjiro is gonna save her. The one that changed his entire physics. I forgot what.
Oh,
Genjiro.
oh, Denjiro, yeah,
Yeah,
Okay, Ginger.
yeah, he is the
yeah.
one that have been it's
I, wa-
him
I
or
was
the kappa.
actually, I was actually waiting for just the water to extinguish him, and then he just dies.
No,
You know what?
so
That would be the best way for him to die.
oh, I think either Ganjiro gonna kill him, Denjiro gonna kill him, or what's his name, the kappa one.
I never
Uh,
remember the Kappa's name, but I always refer to him as Kappa. Yeah.
Kawamatsu.
What also could happen is that when Momo moves the castle, that he tilts it and he just falls out.
He just falls out. Yeah, I want him to die unceremoniously. Just because like it always feels like Kaido I thought killed him, Raizo I thought killed him.
No, we
And then
knew
his
it.
daughter I thought killed him, and I was like, oh well, all right, then maybe he just dies on something dumb. Like just tilt. I agree with Weeb. Tilt him and fall him into the ocean.
So most of the chapter was almost like boring. Let be fair. It's fillers. We covered the
That the
entire.
whatchamacallit reveal was very. I mean, maybe am I? I guess I'm the only one who thinks like the Roger reveal was pretty big deal.
I again, I didn't think so until you said that it could have easily retconned it. And with that being said, I agree with you then.
Yeah, like I mean, I admit, yeah, but a lot of this was just a continuation of the fight. But I thought like the Roger reveal, like I did not expect that
Again,
in this chapter.
Roger reveal gave me two confirmation. One, Shanks is gonna be powerful like a motherfucker, and two, and what's his name, Sanji is going to get Conqueror's Haki.
Dude,
No,
you're obsessed with Sanji getting.
I'm gonna die on that hill. I'm gonna die on that hill because Oda is not going to have Zoro be that overpowered over Sanji.
Okay. Then I'm gonna bet that Usopp is gonna develop a negative conquest.
That'd be wonderful to eliminate all other conquerors.
What did he say?
So Usopp is gonna get negative conquerors hockey.
I would absolutely not be surprised if Usopp gets Conqueror's Haki. And I'm not joking. For one simple reason. Every single Usopp lie have came through, right?
Okay. So
I mean, he lies a lot, but I mean,
yeah, okay.
technically yes, since like all he does is lie.
Yeah. Now remember when he was pretending to use Conqueror's Haki, but it was actually Big Mom Conqueror's Haki. I would absolutely not be surprised if Usopp have his own Conqueror's Haki and is gonna wake it anytime soon. Maybe in Elbaf.
I will admit, I don't know if I would like that. That would be
members
of that crew.
Yeah, but Usopp is always going to be the weakest of the crew.
Yeah.
That's explicitly stated that.
I'm of the belief now, especially with how Oda have made Conqueror's Haki now important in combat wise. I'm of the belief now a lot of people are gonna get it. Because when you fight against enemies that don't have it, and they have it, you're gonna be at so much disadvantage, it's not even funny. And for example,
I don't know.
yeah?
I don't know if you're gonna be that much of a disadvantage. I mean, yeah, we now know that it does more than just knock out weak opponents, but I mean, I don't think it necessarily means that if you don't have it, you don't have a chance. I think it entirely depends on your overall hockey level, and perhaps any devil fruit powers you may have that can give you an edge.
Like, doesn't what's his name? The guy he fought in the tournament, in Don Flamingo's tournament, Chinjao. Didn't he have?
Don Chinjao.
Yeah, like. No, he did. I don't think he had Conquerors. Did he have Conquerors, or he just had one?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, and like, I'm sure a bunch of people could beat Chinjao. Like Katakuri could probably beat. Oh, I mean, he has it as well. But like, I'm sure Sanji currently could beat Chinjao.
No. You need to understand the difference, though. Having Conqueror's Haki and using concrete hockey attack infused. There's a difference between the two,
But
which
I
is,
feel like it's such a rare thing that like the more people we keep giving it to, the less rare it seems.
but it's the same thing with devil fruit though. When we first introduced devil fruit was rare, and later have devil fruit became a normal thing, and the same with hockey. Hockey was
I,
rare, and
I would
nowadays,
disagree with that. I don't think devil fruits are rare at all. Like they make a whole point to just say like we weren't seeing them, but like they make a whole point to say like yeah, this world is full of fruits that give
The
people like powers.
the only thing the way I would agree with that is specifically to mythical zone fruits because they made it a point it's even rarer than Logia, and I think at this point we almost have as many mythical zone fruits as Logia users.
Yeah, like mythical zone. I guess that like mythical zones did seem very very rare, and now they just seem to pop out of the woodwork everywhere.
hmm
Which I get. Yeah, I didn't. I did. Yeah. I don't
okay.
know. I still don't want that to happen, but you make a good point. Like what was once rare is now pretty common.
hmm I'm gonna move on to the next topic, which is going to be we're done with this chapter, unless someone wanna to say something about the chapter.
I'm good.
Okay, what about you, Weeb?
Well, the only thing revisiting the Yuri thing, I do kind of feel like I have a brain freeze about his name, the Shogun. Um, that
Orochi.
yeah that he didn't die there, that he still got one up her and because the shaking, the nail got dislodged, and he's gonna try to take her with him. Um, because I found it incredibly badass of her at that moment where she just completed her revenge, and now it's sort of like so she probably will be saved by somebody. So
Yeah, yeah, of course, but
yeah,
either what's his
yeah,
name?
or yeah, no, but that kind of I feel like it takes a bit of her agency away as sort of this Lady Vengeance character, and it also kind of because I would have fairly badass if she actually managed to kill him, but
Oh,
now she didn't because somebody else probably will finish him off.
yeah. I mean, she never. Here's the thing with Orochi having literally the ability to regenerate health. You, you, you need to almost like see them. I see Orochi as what's his name? Um,
I
when
don't think he can regenerate health. I think
it can
actually,
regenerate. He have 9 life or something like that. But I
well,
believe
what I think is maybe is very specific because he was basically decapitated by Kaido, and he can regrow his head. But not now he's on fire, which does and he's saying he's basically dying right now. So uh, fire will kill him. So I think it's just you can decapitate him. That's I think the kind of the point with him.
Yeah, I was just gonna say like he's essentially a Hydra, which their whole point is it's you have to kill the entire body because if you just keep cutting off the heads, it's just gonna spawn more heads.
Well. With the Hydra, it was that after you cut off the head, you have to sear the wound shut, so and no new head can grow.
Right. And so like I agree with you, like now that he's basically burning, like all of him is dying. It's not just like the one piece. Like everything a part of him is just
mm,
dying. So like this
Oh,
is
I
probably
see
his
what you
end.
did there, the One Piece.
okay, so I'm gonna move on from then this topic then, just because I wanna move on to the next topic, which is going to be One Piece Film Red. Who watched the trailer or teaser?
I saw the trailer.
Me too.
Okay, so Uta is Shank's daughter. Is she his biological daughter or is she adopted? What do you guys think? And is she the main bad girl in the game and story? I don't believe it is.
I
Uh,
don't think so. No.
Sorry?
I mean, I don't think she's the bad guy. It seems more like she's the one that has to be saved by Shanks or by the crew.
Do you think Luffy is gonna meet Shanks in that in the movie?
I do.
Yeah. Oh.
Uh, at least based on how they're advertising, I would say I do. Um, my only, I guess, thing about the movie is now that I know, at least have a general sense of what it's about, I'm less inclined to believe this is going to be the Ace backstory. I mean, not Ace,
Shanks.
Shank's
Yeah.
backstory
Yeah.
that I thought it was going to be. I'm now leaning towards this is just going to be another One Piece movie that's probably not canon.
Um, I hope that it's canon, cause to put someone as Shank's daughter and not make her canon, that would be painful. Cause even Shiki is canon.
Yeah, but yeah, okay, but that he made a tie-in chapter of that. But the thing is with Strong World is that yeah, it can be treated as canon, but it's fairly inconsequential because there's of course little Easter eggs in the manga that they actually sort of foreshadow Shiki, and there's the chapter 0, but you know the events essentially have like they're never mentioned again. Nothing really happened. Nobody is mentioning, oh, Luffy defeated a legendary pirate of Rogers time, and all the damage that he's done. We don't see any fallout of that. So um, yeah, that kind of makes. I mean, it could be canon, but there's a chance that it will never be referenced again. So when we meet Shanks in the manga, we will never hear him mention his daughter.
Yeah, I think you're right, Weeb. I think what it comes down, like Shiki the character is canon, and like him escaping Impel Down, I think is canon. The fight with Luffy, not canon.
That's not
Like,
canon.
yeah, it's just Shiki the character, and we's right. Like we never we're aware of him that he exists. He's this legendary pilot who exists, and that's about as far as it goes. Like there's
That's
no
what.
more or less heard of him. So when I think about the new movie, it just could just be perhaps Shanks does have a daughter. She's probably fairly inconsequential to the rest of the story. He just has a daughter.
That's what irked me about it. It's like you have a daughter, you can build it up so much, and instead you're literally like. I really wish this movie is canon in a way.
Oh,
I
but
don't.
I think if this is like Strong World, I think Strong World is technically canon, as in because the chapter 0 also sets up the events that basically we see Shiki making his plans that he's executing in Strong
Executing.
World. Yeah,
I,
but
I,
yeah, the thing is, it's not consequential because yeah, we never hear anybody talking about these events that happened, and I mean, and there's no lasting consequence. I mean, we should have expected maybe seeing uh, side stories or whatever showing them their hometowns recovering from maybe monster attacks or people mentioning Shiki that he was defeated by Luffy, whatever. Right? We never see that, and um, that kind of makes feel like yeah, you can treat this canon as it does not conflict with the story. Nothing in that it theoretically could have happened because you can just say it happened after they met Brook and just before they uh, arrive at the Shaboni archipelago. But it's really like you can just it's very yeah it doesn't matter really. It's like a very it has no impact on the overall story, and this probably will be too because I cannot imagine that events in this movie will have any impact on the overall story of One Piece. I don't think Shanks will there will be a critical story arc of Shanks here that will then continue in the manga that will explain, I don't know, his relationship with the world government or something. I think it will be fairly inconsequential.
Yeah. Do
I
do
hope you're
we
wrong.
do we
Uh,
have a sense of how long these movies take to make?
we don't. We have not had a movie since Stampede. And when was Stampede? 2018?
I think so, yeah. And the only reason I ask is because Wee's right. Like it's gonna if it's continues to trend, it's gonna be inconsequential. Um, but what I do know is that fairly recently, some of the bigger names, some of the big time mangas like Demon Slayer and such, like they're incorporating movies into their seasons. So Demon Train was
Yeah,
essentially
Yeah,
season two
JJK,
of Demon
Jujutsu
Slayer.
Kaisen. Yeah.
Yeah, Jujutsu Kaisen. So I'm just, I wouldn't be surprised if other
If One Piece
mangakas
start doing
decide to
it.
do it. Yeah, but that would work, I'm assuming, like after. Like I don't know how it's. I know all animation takes a very long time to make, so I don't know when One Piece Red was conceived and started. So like if they had already started it years ago, long before the Demon Slayer movie had come out, then they don't have that sense of like, oh, we could just make this
Mm.
part of it into a movie and just
It
we'll
all
just keep doing what we normally do.
it all depends on if are we gonna see Gear 5 in the movie, and I don't believe so.
I don't think so. Nah, I think we're gonna be waiting for Gear Five. They
Yeah,
they, they definitely want to hold that. Yeah.
yeah. If we don't see Gear 5 in the movie, then there is nothing gonna be consequential about the movie. I think maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're gonna give us Shank's backstory, who Shank is, where he's from, and everything like that. At some point, we gotta need. Okay, do we need Shank's backstory? Yes or no?
mm, well, yeah. Personally, I don't, but I think the story is asking for it because we do need to understand why is he the only one who's actually cooperates with the world government. I mean that's the thing. That there's a story there that we need to know.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think at least it doesn't have to be super deep, but like we got Big Moms, we got a little bit of Whitebeards. I don't think we got anything for Kaido, right? So at least two of the four, like we've at least gotten their past about like what were they about and how did they get to where they were.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and very good point. Like he seems to be the only one who will actively cooperate with the world government. I
So,
cannot picture Kaido meeting with them, Big Mom, or even Whitebeard. Like they would never meet with them to be like, "Hey, let me tell you about some stuff," or "Here's what I've been doing. Here's why I've been doing what I've been doing." Like they wouldn't. I feel like they would never do that. So what's it about Shanks that makes him different in that way?
so now that we have that out of the way, anything else that's interesting? Oh, well, the thing that's interesting, the fun thing that's interesting about this entire conversation with Chunks is at the very end when he said there is no justice or something like that in this world. Not gonna lie, that gave me an evil Shanks vibe. Am I the only one?
Yes, you're the only one.
I don't want Shanks to be evil. It would be the ultimate like betrayal too. Like I would feel massively betrayed if Shanks wound up being
I
evil.
mean, would you not want it to be for the for the for the for the content?
I mean, like objectively, it probably could make a very nice story, but I would say personally, like, no, I don't want it. Like, I like Shanks. He's always been a bit of my favorite of the Yonkos. Um, and partly because like for I just even when first seeing, I was like, oh, I assume he doesn't have a fruit because like everyone else seemed to have a fruit. So I was like, oh, he must be super strong because he ain't even got a fruit. Um,
Mm,
so that was just my personal like imprint onto him, and I just like him.
mm,
I think he's cool. Like I always find it funny that like Mihawk's the world's strongest swordsman, even though Shanks is right here. And I'm like,
mm-hmm.
okay, weird energy, but cool, whatever. So I guess it certainly is possible. Um, it, it they could because right now it's just Luffy would just be running a gauntlet. I, I get the sense that well, not true because Whitebeard was a friend, so he didn't actually have to fight Whitebeard. Kaido he fought. I think he's gonna come to some sort of agreement with Big Mom. So at least Shanks is the question mark. I don't know.
Interesting. What about you, Weeb? Do you want Shunk to be evil?
I don't want him to. I mean, the only thing that could make him evil is because he's voiced by the voice actor of Charles Nabla. But I, I don't think that was Oda's intention when he created the character.
Gotcha.
So no.
Okay. The next topic is gonna be. This is not my theory. This is I was watching what's his name Tekken 101 on YouTube. I don't know if you guys would know about them.
I'm aware of him. I've seen him before.
You know him, Weeb?
No.
So he's a YouTube content creator that uh, reviewed One Piece, but other series as well, and he most of the time break down chapter by chapter and have theories and stuff like that. And they commented on one of his videos, and they stated the follow. I read, I read a line. In order to give context, we need to go all the way back to um, Brogy and Dory, the two giants that the Straw Hat meet.
Yeah.
I forgot which place it is.
Little Garden.
Yes, thank you. They at the very end of the anime or chapter, when they about to leave, and the Sea King, the island eater or something like that, he popped up and they stated something. They stated the only thing we can cut is a snake that is soaked in blood or something on that sense. So they did some digging. You played God of War 2018, right?
I have.
New Whip.
Of course.
Okay, so the snake that Kratos and Atreus meet.
Yeah. You mean
Uh,
there's a German Gander?
yes,
Yeah.
thank you. I couldn't pronounce it even if my life depend on it. Um, this snake is in the Norse mythology stated to be a snake that is soaked in blood. Now, Im- imagine what is the one weird thing that exists in One Piece is that is the red line. What is the red line? And how can we link Elbaf to the One Piece story? Very simple. Let the red line be the snake. Remember, that snake is tall enough to to make a circle, to what's called to travel around the world, right?
Yeah.
So imagine if that snake, if the red line was that snake. It makes
But
sense.
didn't they explain the red line is actually a series of islands?
Also, didn't the king's people used to live on the red line? Like that's how they could do the whole fire thing? Which
But you,
doesn't deny that the red line could be a snake. I don't know about the island thing.
Mm.
Although I guess it would make sense. Like yeah, usually yeah, they would know, right, if it was one giant landmass.
they wouldn't know if no one is talking about it.
Yeah,
If
but
the
I'm,
snake
I'm,
had
pretty,
been
I'm pretty
sleeping,
sure I'm pretty sure it was said in one chapter that actually red line is a series of islands that are connected to each other.
yeah, but at the same time, um, w- where is this snake that's soaked in blood? Then where do you hide that?
Yeah, but I'm not sure if it was meant to be taken literally because it's very clearly that the giants are and their culture is based on Viking culture. So I think it was just a little Easter egg, just a little nudge to the culture and the mythology that they're coming from. I I mean, would be great if he foreshadowed it that far back, but I mean, I think we're probably reading too much into it.
I would say also like snake doesn't always have to mean actual snake. Like snake also means deceiver. And so like we've said, Elbaf in the Giants pretty clearly modeled after like Viking history. So the father of that snake is Loki, who is the trickster god.
Mm-hmm.
So perhaps it leans in towards that way. Who, by the way, like uh, at one point in his history is captured, and I don't think it's that snake, but a snake's poison is dropped onto his face every day. So theoretically, also could be dyed in blood. Because the Midgard serpent, as I know him, I can't pronounce his name either. Tends to only exist for one very specific thing, and that's like the in like kick off Ragnarok, the end of the world. Um, he doesn't really seem to serve much purpose. I'm sure there are stories with him, but like that's his like big deal things. Like, hey guys, once you see me pop up, like it's things are going to go real bad. Um, so I don't know what Elbaf has in store. But also just because like the thing I think about isn't Fisher Tiger famous for climbing over the red line? Like it
Yeah,
extends above and below. Like it's the mountains that are above and it extends all the way below. Like it
yeah. I mean, and the problem I have with it is if that theory is true, then you're basically just suggesting, okay, the final boss is going to be a giant snake.
yeah, because that was my next thing. Is like, oh, if the snake's here, okay. Obviously, my thought is it's the world's largest sea king. But like, what purpose does it serve? Like, it doesn't seem to have anything to do with the Void Century. The world government doesn't seem to allude to it, nor do the Celestial Dragons. It like there would just be which assuming there's going to be like the king Sea King somewhere, but I don't.
Did we not only see that with the Seekings that were literally able to talk to each other?
Well, I meant like who rules them. I mean, like my thought, like because One Piece just always has that. Like perhaps there is one Sea King that rules all the other Sea Kings.
Maybe that Seeking is gonna be one of the what's called who rules them is the Seeking mermaid. Is the mermaid, literally Poseidon. Remember, Poseidon have literally the ability to control Seeking.
Is it control or call them? I think she can call them, but
Now
not
she can
necessarily
control. She
control them.
can literally control them. If she learns to harness her ability, this is why the world government are so scared of Poseidon. Poseidon literally the ability to control the Sea King.
I
But
I
yeah,
don't think controlling. I think, but it could be wrong. But I think it's because the Sea Kings were pretty much aware of themselves, or they could talk. So they weren't there to they weren't like mindlessly following her commands. So I think it's mostly just she can call upon them, and then they will arrive. And yeah, maybe they have some sort of respect for her that they will do what she asks, but I don't think she can like control them as in whatever she says
They have to
they
do.
will do. Yeah.
That's what my thought is. Like, and because she's rare, right? Like before, I don't actually really know how long fish people live. But like theoretically, before her, who could do that? And I don't think we know, right? So like we know she can do it, and
I
because the
I,
Sea
prob I
King
probably think it's genetic. I probably think that there's
is
a
from that line.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so then it's like the Sea Kings do seem intelligent. What makes me thought about it because the Sea Kings now seem intelligent and that like they can converse with
Yeah.
each other. Meaning like if you're intelligent, that means you probably also like decide on things and like can choose things. And I agree, it's probably less she's making me do this against my will, but more like no, that we answer the call and like that out of respect for like
Mhm.
that we answer the call. But like in lieu of that, like just their because she doesn't call on them, their day to day like there might be a Lord Sea King who manages them, who's just like, here's how we
mm,
operate, here's what we do, or who's telling them like, yes, you do know when she calls, we need to get to work. There is no if, ands, or buts about what's happening here.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Um, with that being said, anyone have anything else to you wanna cover?
Um,
We covered everything,
I
I
think
think.
that's it. I
Yeah. So,
Did you ever talk about that game they announced?
One Piece, something, something, something.
I have never played any of the One Piece games.
I recommend. So, if you're a
I
fighting
unfortunately
fan,
I have.
I recommend you Burning Blood. Burning Blood is a nice fighting game.
What about World Seeker?
What Seeker? I bought World Seeker and I'm underwhelmed
Hmm.
because basically World Seeker gameplay is boring. Sadly.
Hmm.
I'm actually interested in this one because it's turn-based. So
Yeah,
it
that's why
can
I'm
have
interested
terrible
in it.
gameplay.
I'm trying
Well,
to look it
One
up. I
Piece,
want to see who's making it.
One Piece Odyssey. So basically, the
Odyssey.
one that making it is literally the one that created or worked on what's called Tales of Arise.
That's promising. Tales of Rise is pretty good, right?
I never played it. You played it,
Okay.
Weeb?
I did, but I don't think they developed it. I think they were a support studio, maybe
Hmm.
that worked on it. But I think Oda, yeah, well, no, I think he did one of the character designs for this, which he does, I think, for a lot of games. So probably not that unique. But the idea, yeah, that's turn based because I mean Generally,
Yeah,
the combat in
One
those
Piece
games suck.
Odyssey. One
Yeah,
Piece Odyssey has the ability to be something amazing. They just need to do it well.
yeah.
They
So
can't
so
fuck it.
I'm
They can't fuck it up.
yeah,
So I just looked up, and you just only give me bits and pieces, but the company who seems to be developing it is ILCA, standing for I Love Computer Art. But they've worked on Ace Combat, Dragon Quest 11, uh, and Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, which makes sense now. Everything's sort of cleared up. This is why it's a turn-based thing, which I think is promising. Dragon Quest 11 is solid. Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Pearl are good. Their problem isn't the game. The problem isn't the gameplay. It's just that it's more of the same.
Mm.
So I agree. I like the idea of a turn-based sort of One
Me
Piece
too.
thing. I'm immediately brought to uh Digimon Cyber Sleuth, which is a really really good Digimon game.
I actually got
Um,
bored with that one. I
and this
The thing is,
I
I
love
was
it.
literally mixing Pokemon Digimon up so I can get the best Digimon that give me a lot of HP and money, and I got bored very fast with that one.
Mm,
I need to get back to it,
So
but
I the,
right now
the
I'm playing what's called um what's the name of that game? Valkyrie Chronicle.
oh, you're joining me. Cool.
It's a difficult game, eh?
Uh, Difficult's not the word I would actually say no. I think it's actually a bit easier than other what are they called? The tactical strategy games?
It's tedious. Like, dude, why am I missing shots when I'm a sniper?
Yeah, so for example, I play a lot of Front Mission. I think Front Mission is way harder than this. And part of it is it's the thing I like about it, but I think what makes it easier. In most games, your group of characters are made up of like in quote unquote important people, so like you don't want to lose them. In this one, if the random scout dies, okay, I'll just get another scout. I keep getting recruits. I'll just get
Mm.
another one. But it does make it
Also,
easier to not have to
also,
manage.
they give you the ability to prevent them from actual dying by giving you three, what's called
Yeah, you got three
three.
turns to go pick them up. Yeah.
Yeah, and there is literally a retreat. An order you can learn called retreat.
yeah, but still they can die if an enemy gets to them first.
Yeah, and
Oh,
like that's usual in that genre. Like if I think of tactics, like I think after three turns, like if you don't save them or revive them, they die forever and they're just gone.
yeah, and maybe in the fourth game they give you a lot more penalty with dying. I have yet to had anyone die on me because most of the time I reload the save. Cause
That's kind of the point.
Yeah,
hey,
basically it's like it. Trust me, there was a game called Vanguard Bandits for the PS1. Fingers crossed that it shows up on Sony's new thing. That most of the characters like were main characters, so like their deaths were permanent, and like it would affect the story. And
I
so
would like
like
to play that then.
I would just
Cause
reset every time because like I can't he can't die. Front Mission is a little
and
same too. Like there are characters who will die and just like they're not here anymore.
this is why I am to believe games like Death Stranding needed to be hardcore. Like every time I lose something, I just reload and I'm prepared for whatever is gonna come. Like saving and saves coming is so easy to play games with it. Like now I know I'm going to have a boss fight. Boss fight surprises me. Okay, next time I'm gonna be prepared for it. It's basically that. And
I think that's okay. Like that. Let's not make this thing impossible. We just want to, you know, it can still be very, very hard, even if you're prepared for it for certain things.
yeah, I played XCOM. But my issue is with the game is literally you, uh, your. I literally got an accuracy boost, and I missed my shot by the sniper.
Yeah, they be missing, man. You
I'm
gotta
like,
make sure you get those
So
shots.
why are you that worthless? But not gonna lie, snipers are OP like a motherfucker in this game. You need to rely on them. Uh, Scout are okay, but troopers are must have if you know where the enemy is, cause they soak up a lot of damage and can deal a lot of damage. So I'm playing one right now. Weeb. How is four compared to one? Is it more of the same? Do they improve upon one? And if so, how do they improve?
it's a definitely improve, but I think 4 is better than 1. It definitely has a better story, in my opinion.
I'm liking the story of one. I just
Oh,
met.
well, I'm not saying 1 is bad.
No, no,
1 is
no, no, no
great.
one said
And
so.
4 is better.
Is it a continuation? Like all four of them are like
No, yeah, that's the thing. Not all of them were. I think 2 and 3 were on PSP or Vita. I'm not
Yeah,
okay.
entirely sure.
PSP.
Yeah.
And yeah, they didn't. I think they were sequels, but they didn't follow the same cast.
Okay.
And 4 is how do you call it, a sidequel, side story.
Okay.
It essentially it takes place at the same time as 1, but you're following a
A
different
different
team.
group.
A
Okay,
different
gotcha.
team. Okay, gotcha. Here's the thing. Well, not all of us are coffee. You know, coffee. He got almost every single RPG game or RPG game in general.
He don't
And
got Suikoden too.
uh,
Goddamn Kofi.
yeah. So shout out to coffee. So I'm definitely gonna get five, a four after I'm done with this one because I'm loving the game. And other game I wanna buy is Orange Spear. It's literally on discount right now for 14 euro. I recommend it
Which
and I'm
one?
gonna buy it.
What's it called?
Orange Spear.
Golden Sphere. Oh yeah,
Yeah. From Vanillaware. You know.
yeah. Of course I know that. Duh.
So I wanna buy that. And you Weep, no Weep, Weep. Did you check Everybody Saves the World or Nobody Saves the World?
Not yet.
Uh, Please check it, cause I need if you're gonna play it with me or not.
I've
Otherwise,
I've, I've
I will buy it to
been
play it
busy this week.
alone. Cause that's also a game I wanna buy. How are you enjoying Nobody Saves the World, Zero?
I'm loving it. It's so very fun.
Where are you at? Which console?
PS5.
Okay, so if I buy it, we can play together then.
Yeah, I'm having a great time with it. It's it's actually quite funny. Like I found myself laughing out loud at a few things. Um,
Now, let me then. You're not at VGP, so no one will ever judge you if you say otherwise. Is it better than. You know what I'm about to say, right?
oh, what, Hades? No,
Yeah.
nothing's better than Hades. Hades is Juno Award winning game of the year. Like if you guys don't know about it, it's starring Zagreus and like as he tries to escape the clutches of his evil father Hades. But as you play, more you learn and understand about the story.
You talk about. Is
Now,
it
oddly enough,
genuinely.
it's really not a roguelite.
Oh?
I thought the same thing. It's not like them. It's much more. It's an action adventure.
Wait.
Yeah, like it's not like Returnal or Hades. That's not what this is.
So what is it then?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think the closest game that's similar to that, particularly like top down.
Yeah, but is it like linear, or do you if you die, do you lose progress, or is it like
No,
procedurally
that's the thing.
generated?
Like it's linear. So like death, I mean death means something, but death doesn't mean anything. Like you die, like there are dungeons spread all across the world. Um, and so like if you die, you get kicked out of the dungeon and you start again.
But
Okay.
you don't.
Yeah.
And when you start again, do you have your stuff or you
Yeah,
start
you have
from
everything.
zero?
Yeah, the dungeons themselves are randomly generated, so each time you go into one, it like changes. But that's about the closest roguelite elements you get to it. Like death means nothing, and frankly, it's pretty difficult to die in that game.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
it's more because part of the to me part of the fun is leveling up to see what you unlock next. So
mm,
you start off as just nobody. You're just this dude, and then you unlock the rat. And so you're a little rat, and your rat has its own abilities, and it does its other thing.
okay, the
And
question.
then
Your rat, the ability. Do you get more ability with the rat or your one or
no, you
two
get more.
ability and
Yeah,
that's it?
no, the more you progress, the more abilities you get.
Okay, so you don't jump four ability for one character and that's it.
No, in fact, the key, the hook of this game is that you can mix and match abilities.
Mm.
So, for example, I have the rat's the first one, but I also unlocked a horse. So you can have a horse with rat abilities.
So basically, you're a pony.
Yes. it's
Hey,
it's an it's an action RPG. It is not a roguelike, which I admittedly
interesting.
I thought the same thing. I was like, "Oh, I want another roguelike," but it's closer to like Celeste. Uh that type of genre, like a more dungeon crawler type thing.
Mm. Do you get
Or
any?
Guacamelee. Yeah, closer to Guacamelee because they aren't they
Okay,
the same
okay,
guys?
okay.
Yeah.
Guacamole. I played one or
Yeah.
two and I.
Yeah, it's like a top-down Guacamelee.
Okay, I'm down with that. Does it have voice acting?
It does not.
Oh
Um
boy, if they took
which
a
I mean I
page.
wouldn't. You don't on to be honest, you don't need it. Like
Um,
the the
if
the
you
things
said
that people say is all nonsense.
it's funny, then I would have loved to hear that audio.
I mean, Guacamelee was funny, and like I didn't need to hear that audio. Like it was kind of funny.
Yeah, Guacamole was funny.
Yeah.
So that game I'm gonna buy right now after I'm done with this conversation because great show. We needed So next week is a break. Do you guys wanna gather and talk about gaming? Not gaming, anime in general. Favorite anime moment. Which anime
It's
you're
a,
watching? Anime you wanna
uh,
recommend, and so
it's a
on.
break in the chapter next week.
Yeah. So basically, Shonen Jump is on break because Golden Week, I think.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay.
You
I'm okay with it. As usual, I sort of play it by ear, but like I'm certainly fine with that.
What about you, Weep?
Sure.
Okay.
There's more fish in the sea, as they say.
This is nothing, yeah, and hopefully by next week, Dark Lord is able to join us because I love his insight because he watches a lot of anime. He reads a lot of visual novels, and
Yeah, so that'd be good
maybe,
to have our fourth member.
yeah, I wanted to have Jubei on, but Jubei can't make it at
Yeah,
this
his schedule
time.
doesn't work.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So if anyone knows any other people, anyone from chat wanna join, just hit me up on Carb_Jab on Twitter or Kahraba1978 on PlayStation. And yeah, this was a fantastic show. We rambled. I mean, we're gonna ramble. Passionate about One Piece, and again, I can't stress this enough. It's so surreal that I'm interacting with two people that I used to interact before just in gaming spaces. I never knew that both of us enjoyed One Piece. Like, If I knew about this, we would be at episode 1000 right now. Um, I'm thinking also, yeah, let's see. Great show. Let's do our outro. Where people can find you.
Yes, the Weep Sheriff, aka Blue Rhizome, as I'm known here on YouTube, and you can also find me on Twitter at Infinite Rhizome. And yeah, great show.
Thank you. And you, Zero?
Guys, you know me, I always have a great time. Absolutely love chatting with you. Zero.exe everywhere. Just find me out there. I'll be around. And of course on VGP on Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern.
As for me, Curb_Job on Twitter and Gameplay on here every Saturday, 5 p.m. No, yeah, 5 p.m. It's a standard time. And this show every Friday, 5 p.m. And also on Gaming Garage Gaming, Ghost in the Garage Gaming every Sunday, hopefully. Great show, and with that being said, see you next week then.